Okay. Hey, what's up, Rough Cuts? It's Jim. Today is Tuesday, and today's film is Detour. Now, Detour is the 1945 B film noir. We start the film with Al Roberts, and he's hitchhiking through, and he looks like he's been through a lot. He comes into a diner, looks all disheveled and messed up and everything, but then he tells us his tale of how he got this way. Now, Al Roberts used to be a piano player in New York with his beautiful girlfriend, where they sang this wonderful song together about being in love and stuff. Everybody liked it, and she was a very, very talented singer, and things were going great. He wants to marry her, but she wants to, cool things off for a few years and go to California, and then she goes, and he stays in New York for a little bit, but then he misses her too much and decides he's going to hitchhike to California and see her there. Now, he gets as far as, I believe, Arizona, and then he gets picked up while he's hitchhiking by this guy, Haskell, Charles Haskell. He drives him along. He's kind of friendly. He's a little rough around the edges. He's not sure if he's telling the truth all the time, and he has these scars along his knuckles there that look like someone scratched him. And he drives Al Roberts to a diner, and then he feeds him food and gives him a nice meal after a long trek. When Al Roberts tells the story, who's played by Tom Neal, about what happened, he's very deprecating, he's very whiny, everything isn't his fault. He's just in the wrong place at the wrong time. A very film noir hero. All the protagonists in film noirs, I feel like it was never their fault. It was just circumstance that brought them to this, and no one as much as Al Roberts. It's very hammy, his delivery, but I almost like it with the B production. I think it kind of adds a certain value to it. So anyway, him and Haskell are driving, and Al Roberts drives while Haskell sleeps, and then it starts raining. He wants to put the top up on his car, won't wake up. He opens the door. Haskell falls on a rock. Al Roberts is kind of convinced that he just killed Haskell, and so then he goes to bury the body, and then he's just going to keep driving on, but then he realizes he has no money, so he has to steal all of Haskell's money, or he won't get very far. But then if he gets stopped, they're going to wonder why he's wearing such crappy clothes, because he's been hitchhiking from New York to Arizona, so his clothes probably look kind of crappy. So he decides he's going to change clothes with Haskell, so that way no one thinks the car isn't his, which it isn't, and the police won't question him. So he keeps driving. Then he picks up this girl played by Ann Savage. I've never seen such a venomous, evil bitch in all of cinema. She's just horrible person. She drives along with Al Roberts for a little bit, but then she figures out that it's Haskell's car, because Haskell picked him up earlier, and she's the one who left the scars on his hand, and he knows this lady's trouble, and she starts figuring out, and then he explains it to him, because Al Roberts is kind of a putz, but whatever. And then they're gonna drive to LA together, sell the car, and then they'll be rid of each other, and then he'll give her most of the money because he just wants to see his girlfriend. But then he gets stuck in LA with her in this depressing apartment all the time, where they just drink and smoke and play Go Fish or something. What I find interesting about this film is its straightforward camera work, which the director of this film, Edward G. Ulmer, was an assistant for a silent film director, F.W. Murnau, on such films as The Last Laugh and Sunrise. They're very distinct visual films. Some of the imagery is just so wonderful, and the way they use lighting, it reminds me of silent film. You can definitely tell he worked in silent film and he's influenced by it, and that's how he learned how to make movies, so of course he's going to be influenced by it. There are certain shots, like when you have Tom Neal and he starts off telling his tale as Al Roberts, they turn off all the stage lights in this diner set and just have someone shine a light in his eyes, and you just see his eyes. It's such a distinct 1940s pulpy kind of sense of lighting and cinematography. There's some old movies that I think are just fun and a little hokey, but you like going along with this, and I always like going along with the hokiness of Detour, and that narration where he's just justifying everything to himself, and you could think maybe he's lying, maybe that's why he has to justify everything, he's thinking in his mind, I didn't do anything wrong, I didn't kill that guy, I didn't get myself in this situation, it's just all circumstance, when in actuality he probably maybe did do a lot of fucked up things, maybe he killed Haskell in a different way, but to justify it to himself he thinks of it in a different way, which I think is a different level you can actually look at this film. Is he telling the truth or not? Because you don't actually know. If someone's telling you a story and it's from their perspective, that's from their perspective. That might not be how most people viewed it. And or it might not even be how it actually happened. And since I don't actually know Al Roberts before this, I don't know him as a character, can he be trusted? And that's another interesting element of this film. It's like, how reliable is your narrator? And how honest is he really? Like, he sounds honest, but is he conning me the same way Vera is conning him in the story? I don't know. It's very short. It's only 67 minutes. It's very easy to find. It's a public domain film. I have it on a public domain DVD. As you see, it's public domain. You can find it pretty easily on YouTube and probably on the internet. If you've ever wanted to get into film noir and, you know, maybe you don't have a lot of time or you don't feel like watching Double Indemnity. Alright, so I hope you enjoyed this review and that you subscribe to The Rough Cuts if you haven't already, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and follow me on Twitter, Tumblr, and VHX if you would like. And have a good day.